Good morning, afternoon and evening all. This is Yorkie. I hope you're doing well. Today we have our 100th flash run. It's been a long time coming. A couple of times had to restart with the game where data has been lost and it's been reset, and many races where I've been punted off by rammers and other numerous things that have just stopped me from winning races. But yeah, we're going straight to the grid, and this is it. Starting in P7 out of 10, we're in a McLaren. This is 2012 car performance, 5 lights, and we are away. And as you see, I get a relatively decent launch. We use a little bit of curves as we come up into second gear now. Coming up towards these cars into turn 1, I accidentally tap that Ferrari and it sends him into a spin, but don't get a penalty for it. Fortunately, this Mercedes is squeezing me over to the left and I had to take to the grass to avoid him. And now I've got Marussia right in front of me. And the Mercedes that was alongside outbraked himself with no front wing and put the other two cars off wide, which has put me very nicely up into P2, which is good. It seems like P1 is running away with this race at the moment, and P3, 4, 5 and 6 have dropped well behind. I don't know what's happened to them, but yes, we are going to hunt down P1, who has actually gone wide coming out the exit of the hairpin there. He's very slow. I'm going to use a little bit of my curves, and I've gone and taken him up and just before this right hand kink into this tight left-hander as we now come towards the end of sector 2 and in towards the stadium section, just trying to be nice and smooth as possible. It looks like he's gone wide again there. I want to try and build up this gap just in case I make any mistakes, and just in case he wants to mount a challenge on this position. Actually run wide there on the exit of that hairpin. Just put some dirt on my tyres, but it's not a problem, as these next two corners will need the grip of the front left tyre, not the front right. And P2 has disappeared. Yeah, 3.3 seconds already within half a lap. He's dropped well back, so it doesn't look like he's going to mount much of a challenge for this. But nonetheless, we shall press forward just in case anyone else stupidly quick manages to work their way through the field. And I managed to make some stupid ass mistake to cost me like I did in Hungary, which almost cost me. But yeah, so hitting that braking point for the hairpin very nicely, getting a good smooth exit coming out of that corner, using a little bit of the curve, sticking to as far left of the track as possible. Bring it back over to the right, looking up this apex rather nicely, using all the width of the track on the exit. Taking this nice right-hander, nice, smooth and cleanly. Going very nice and quick. As we come now into the stadium section. Decent run, downshifted ever so slightly. And once again running wide on that hairpin. Again, couldn't get the car in towards the apex. But yeah, coming through the final two corners. We are going to go across the line, set a new fastest lap. And P2 is more than the start finish straight away. So you can pretty much guess how this race is going to go. It's going to be, yeah, just me steaming off into a distance. It was a very boring 100th race win. Apart from this moment here, this moment was probably the most interesting. But yeah, it was very boring. So I'm going to show you something more interesting. Actually, it was my 97th race win, which was at Barcelona. It was actually a good race. So there is me in the HRT Lamborghini skin. It was rather nice. For some reason I had a stint of just playing in the HRT. No real reason why, just thought I'd give it a go. But yes, the 5 lights. And we're away, we're at the back of the grid. We get okay start, and we use a little bit of the curves. We're going to catch up, and we're going to take P8 down before the first corner. We're going to have a look to the outside of this Ferrari right here. Just trying to get the braking points nice and smooth, and we've taken the Ferrari. We've got a Red Bull wide, and we're going to try and go around the outside of it. We've got another spinning Ferrari there, so I had to back out. We're still in P7, we've got a sliding Red Bull, and almost tried to slip past them, but just clipped its front wheel. But nonetheless, I've got the inside line for this corner here, so I'm going to take him nice and smoothly down the inside, and we gain an additional place with the car running wide. And we are now in P4 in a little bit of an oversteer moment, just about managing to save it. the exit out of that corner there, and we got a McLaren, and we got another oversteer moment, and again I had to slam on the brakes to try and catch that one. Didn't quite manage to catch it early enough to keep my foot in the gas. So we're down one place, down to P5, and we're behind this Red Bull. Take that curb quite aggressively actually. I got a little bit airborne. The car became pretty unsettled. It's a little bit of lag, kind of floating around. Kind of maybe had to brake later than I wanted to. But yeah, coming out of this corner, I got a very nice run and used all the rest of my curves. We got well into his slipstream. We used a little bit more of my curves now. Switch up into the higher fuel rich mixture just to get to match curves, and it looks like we managed to outbrake him down the inside, but he's gone and shoved it into the side of me. That's actually somehow managed to cause me to spin. Don't really get that. So now I'm back down into P6, gravel all over my tyres. We got another 3 laps to go, 3 and about 3/4. So McBart in the Ferrari is 2.4 seconds up ahead. We've got to try and close this door, try and close that gap down towards him. Do that by being nice and smooth. I've actually got my Mercedes there. It's very slow, so that's gifted me P5. A little bit too much of a lift coming into that fast right-hander. It's actually quite difficult to get right consistently unless you know the exact perfect point on where to turn in, just about how much throttle you need to give. But we're visually closing up on McBart now. Looks like we're within that 1 second window, but obviously DRS isn't enabled yet. This is only lap 2, so just being smooth over through that final chicane, using the rest of the cars that I had, getting into that slipstream of the Ferrari, and going to pass down the inside. I was going to switch up to higher fuel mixture, but obviously didn't need to. He's ready, going fast enough to swoop down his inside, cream past him, so back up into P4, and that Red Bull is up ahead once again as we go and set the fastest first sector time. Now 1.5 seconds behind P3, which apparently is our target for today, set by the game. And this is actually back after I had a couple of races where I had penalties, so my rankings got knocked down a couple of times, but that Red Bull had gone wide there, closed up to him quite drastically. And we are still closing as we're in the slipstream. As again going to set the second sector fastest time, going purple in the lap so far, and we are only a 10th down and scrambling all over the back of this gearbox. Almost had an oversteer moment there, but kind of overcompensated it. Just kind of snatched the car over and he ran wide there. I was thinking of having a look around the outside into the chicane, but thought better of it because obviously DRS is now active. The detection point was into the final corner. That's the activation point there. I'm going to stick way over to the right, giving plenty of room. And we're going to slide past as we're going to go set the fastest lap of the race. A nice smooth run into the first couple of corners now. It's this long right-hander. And that is the car up ahead who's got a time penalty, but obviously I'd like to get past him. It's much more interesting than actually trying to drive past someone who has a penalty rather than actually sitting back and letting them penalty knock them down a couple of places. So I want to try and catch these guys. Nice and smooth, hooking that up, corner up rather nicely. So yeah, good run through that fast right hand up the top of the hill there. Not really lifting off all that much. Once again we're going purple in the first 2 sectors. So on my previous lap, it looks like we've closed to get down by about 4 tenths. I think it was 2.5 tenths up ahead in the previous sector. Looks like we've closed it even more. So we're coming to this rather dodgy final chicane. I don't like the curbs in that chicane. I try to avoid them where possible. a good run out the final corner, and the times are glitched, so I can't tell how far, but that looks roughly about a second to me. Once again, we're setting a new fastest lap. So the final lap then, and it looks like, oh, that's a bit of lag there. P1 had run wide as well, so he's got gravel and dirt on his tyres. And it looks like the podium positions are all battling out in this final lap. So I'm going to go for the undercut on this McLaren here. Get that done quite nicely, looking behind to see if I can move across, which I do try and do. But the Red Bull shuts that door, but I get a much better exit than him on that corner. And I'm going to use a little bit of curves, and I'm going to take it down the inside into this nice left-right hander there. Plenty of camber, which really helps to aid you get your car into the LC apex. And once again, he's gone wide at the top of that hill, that fast right-hander. So that is P1. I managed to put myself up into P1 from the back of the grid in a couple of moments. There's a little bit of oversteer there. I managed to catch that. Actually running wide, but as I'm in first, I have a little bit of a buffer with a gap behind me, so just taking it nice and smooth, not taking any risks. Using the rest of the curves coming out the final corner to cross the line to get my 97th win. So that's the final result there, and as you can see, finished 2.39 seconds ahead of APB Thomas, ADU, who was in the Red Bull, and obviously setting the fastest lap. But yeah, good 97th race win. So a little bit of news as well. I have bought myself 2 tickets to Eurogamer, one for the Thursday and one for the Friday. They're on the 26th and 27th of September over at Earls Court in London. If you are around or going on either one of those days, hopefully I shall see you guys there. I don't know if Codemasters are going this year. I know they were there last year. But yeah, if you guys are going to be there, give us a shout. Maybe meet up at the event, say hi, and chat F1. So that is the conclusion of this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content in the future. Hope to see you soon, guys. Take care.